I nominate you.
I second it.
Okay. All right.
All in favor?
All in favor.
Aye.
Okay, roll call, Jay. I guess we should have done that first.
Jeff Griffin, Bill Wantland, Tim Poplin.
Here.
Stephanie Lambert.
Here.
John Kramer.
Here.
Chris Anson.
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson, Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
All right, consideration and action of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Approved. Second.
Jay?
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the airport authority? Okay, can I get a motion for dismissal? Or to close, whatever you.
So
Move to
moved.
approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those against? Okay.
Is that a,
Well, if I get
Roll
to the next
call.
page, there we go.
okay,
All right, I'll call to order the meeting of the Seminole Gas Authority. Roll call, Jay?
John Kramer.
Here.
Tim Poplin.
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson, Bill Wantland, Jeff Griffin, Stephanie Lambert,
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Chris Anson.
Here.
Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
All right, consideration and action of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Jay?
John Kramer.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Chris Anson.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the gas authority? Okay, if not, can we get a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? All right. Now we'll call to order the Seminole Utilities Authority. Roll call, Jay?
Dee Dee Patterson, John Kramer,
Here.
Chris Anson,
Here?
Bill Wantland, Jeff Griffin, Tim Poplin.
Here.
Stephanie Lambert.
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
All right, consideration and action of the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jay, roll call?
John Kramer,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the Utilities Authority? Okay, if not, we're going to current business. Item number 1, consideration and possible action to approve work order number SEM 17-1 with Wall Engineering LLC for $79,442,000 for the new high school water and sewer infrastructure.
I'm sorry, Brad was, are we on
We're on
the?
number 1.
Oh, yes.
Explanation, sir.
Okay. We are underway with the extension to get the water and sewer to our new high school site. We will be engineering that, obviously. We've got to engineer it before it can happen. The discussions have been going right now with the annexation. I think Brad's done a tremendous amount of research on that, as have several other attorneys. And we're going to be going through the annexation proceedings real quick. It will not just be the land for the high school. There are some surrounding property owners that want to become part of the city limits along with the new high school territory. So we will eventually be bringing that to you. However, I think it's important for us to go ahead and get in advance, get the engineering done on the water and sewer system. So we're going to ask permission for us to hire the engineer. The money will be coming out of the 2006 non-bonded account, and we'll be employing the Wall engineering firm. They've done a lot of good work for us, and we are talking about both water and sewer extension to the property. Is everybody familiar with the area that we're talking about? It would be approximately 400 feet south and west of the Haney Center. So just 3 or 4 blocks. There's a big sign there that says future site of our high school or something to that effect. So,
How many acres is there? I'm sorry, I don't remember.
okay, so the site for the high school is 40 acres exactly. But the people that are selling them the land want another 40 taken in, and the people across the road north own 300 acres, and they've expressed an interest of being taken into the city limits as well. So it'll be significant. We're not intending on taking anyone's area that doesn't petition to be in the annexation. Now, the exception to that may be a 2-foot strip along the highway or 3-foot strip, whatever the requirement is in the highway right-of-way. But we're not going to be taking anybody's property that doesn't want to be a part of the annexation. But that's not really what this
Right.
agenda item is.
I'm
just-
sorry.
No, that's
Sideline.
okay. This agenda item is really specific to getting the engineering done so we can get water and sewer to the new site.
Is there a motion?
I move to approve, yeah.
Second.
Okay, Jay, roll call.
John Kramer,
Yes.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes,
Motion passes.
Okay, there's no further business. Can I get a motion for adjournment?
so move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, now we'll call to order the Seminole City Council meeting. Roll call, Jay?
Chris Anson,
Here.
Dee Dee Patterson, Stephanie Lambert,
Here.
Larry Church.
Here.
Tim Poplin.
Here.
Bill Wantland, John Kramer,
Here.
Jeff Griffin, Shane Fisher. We have a quorum.
Everybody will stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you'd all join me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Consideration and action of the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Jay, roll call.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes,
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I missed one. John.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Are there any appearances or petitions from the audience for the city council? Okay. All right, if not, we'll move on to resolutions. Item number 1, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 2017-22, a resolution setting the filing period and election dates for the purpose of electing officers. This is just a normal every year thing we have to do in order for us to have the election.
Yes, sir.
It's the first full week of December is the registration feeling right, correct? Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jay, roll call?
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
yes,
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Under current business, consideration and possible action to approve the City of Seminole's employees' Christmas party to be held at the Reynolds Wellness Center at noon on Friday, December 15th, at a cost not to exceed $2,500.
Move to approve. Well,
Yeah, this is in our budget.
Second.
Jay, roll call?
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
yes,
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, current business item number 3, consideration and possible action to approve the use of a third party, Aberdeen Enterprises 2, Inc., to assist in the pursuit and collection of outstanding warrants by adding a collection fee to the warrant of 35% that is to be remitted to the collection agent by the court clerk only after the warrant has been paid.
Yes, I would like to, at this point, I think we need to do a little bit more investigation. We had some late information coming in. Before we actually go with the Aberdeen Enterprises, I think we want to look at a couple of other possibilities. So I would ask that you guys table it until we can do a little bit more.
I move to table the motion.
Second.
Jay, roll call?
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes,
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 4, consideration and possible action to approve an amendment to the city's personnel manual regarding sick leave for non-contract employees. leaving the maximum hourly sick leave threshold at 720 hours, but providing for an annual payout at 50% of sick leave accrued over the 720 hours. Under the current policy, sick leave over the 720-hour threshold is use it or lose it, which actually appears to increase sick leave usage.
Well, I've got our chief expert, LaDonna Van Landingham, who runs the show around City Hall, to answer any of your questions, but I can tell you that we've got some fantastic employees. The police and fire department already have this in their contracts, but we've got a lot of our public works guys, librarians, water office, cemetery, other people that spend 15 years accumulating all this sick leave and never intend to use it, and quite often they don't use it. What we want to do is encourage them to continue that. Once they hit 15 years and get, or so, once they get 720 hours, we don't want them to feel like, hey, if I don't use this, it's of no good.
I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah. LaDonna, you have anything you want to add on that, or Jay, either one?
Well, I was just gonna follow up with what you were saying, that the one that we're already doing it in a little bit different ways, but, I had a request today from the police department to cash in a little bit. Ours will be, we'll just do it for one time a year, we'll have it budgeted, won't, somebody will, like, throw a request to somebody asking in July that we didn't budget or something. This will be budgeted, it'll be the one time a year, right, with our winter, fall longevity, if you guys would agree with that. And it's just a good way to encourage everybody to, go to that doctor's appointment, come back, get back to work, make sure that, production is happening, and to also kind of pat those employees that do that on the back and say, we appreciate you being here.
So it's not, it won't start immediately, it'll start after it's budgeted, so it's not budgeted this year?
This year will be the smallest payout year that we ever had, so we felt like we could probably do it this year if you guys would approve that. And we have a few employees that have lost some already in over the course of several years. And
How much are you talking about from?
about $6,000, $6,500 max.
We only have 8 employees that are eligible at this
Okay,
point.
how many hours of sick leave do they accrue a year?
Well, 96 a year.
96 hours a
But
year?
Right, they would max at 720 before the payout.
Okay.
So you would have to be
And-
at 720 to even be considered, and then at 720, whatever you would have lost in that year, basically, we're just saying, let's pay them half of that for being here.
And we would expect to see sick time usage go down and this go up, which is a benefit to the city because this is at half the rate of the sick time usage, plus we have employees at work, so.
That's been my experience with this kind of system in the past, is that the use of sick time goes down. And although, I don't know what the breaking point is to what percentage will incentivize people not call in sick. For grocery carts at the store, it turns out to be a quarter.
Right.
But for sick time, I know there's a percentage, and I think this is a step in the right direction for that. I think we'll benefit if we pass this.
Move to approve.
Second.
Roll call, Jay?
Chris Anson?
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert?
Yes.
Larry Church?
Yes.
Tim Poplar?
Yes.
John Kramer?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, item number 5, consideration and possible action to approve accepting the public parking lot next to the Bumpy Brick located at 2nd and Broadway, which is being dedicated from the Seminole Urban Renewal Authority.
Well, when we got into a proposed festival a few weeks ago, I think it became evident to us that the Urban Renewal Authority actually owns the parking lot, which they constructed next to the Bumpy Brick across from Bank First. I don't think they remembered that they own it And so when they were being asked for permission to utilize it, I think they were kind of caught off guard. They thought that they had turned it over to the city for maintenance purposes, et cetera. And I informed them that had not been officially done. So they're asking that we go ahead and officially, that you guys go ahead and officially adopt it and take on the maintenance. And it was, I can verify that it was done up to our specifications, so.
Move to approve.
Second.
Jay, roll call.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin,
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Under addendum, we have item number 6, consideration and possible action to approve the escrow agreement by and among Derek Henley as developer of the city of Seminole and Trustmark Title Company as agent, whereby developer agrees to pay agent $10,000 to be held in escrow to assure completion of certain sanitary sewer improvements on the property held by Tractor Supply as tenant.
So originally, we talked to Derek Henley before he sold the property, and then later, after Tractor Supply was under contract, we all talked about the plan. The sewer, as it runs away from Long John Silver's, actually goes across the current parking lot of Tractor Supply. And of course, Tractor Supply doesn't want us breaking that concrete out and trying to repair a sewer line. So the deal was cut for Derek to take a string of pipe south from Long John Silver's and tie it into our main, which lays along the fence line. I think he forgot. Okay, so last week when we're ready to turn the key and cut the ribbon, Tractor Supply said, go ahead and plug that sewer line real quick. And Long John Silver's would not have been able to open for business if we had done that. So what this is a fix. This tells Derek, all right, you are putting $10,000 of your money in escrow to ensure that line is built and that it's built relatively quick. I think there's 20-day fuse on this. So what I'm asking for tonight is permission to sign the agreement as a party to this so that we can oversee the line, make sure it's installed to our specifications.
Move to approve.
I second.
Jay, roll call.
Chris Hansen,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church.
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Kramer.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right, under reports, Steve?
Okay. I just want to let everybody know that I think the crews, our city crews, did a fantastic job in the tornado situation. I'm really proud of the way they performed. Man, it wasn't, I don't know, it was quick how fast they got on Main Street and the other areas that needed to have the limbs and things removed. They did a great job. A lot of special people out there, great help. Volunteers came out in droves, and we kind of showed what we were made of. I'm really proud of our community. The bird nest around the Wellness Center have been taken care of. I know Chris had asked about that, and that's been done. We may have to wait on a section that's behind the dancing lights, because when the contractor got here, we didn't want him to crush the dancing lights. So that's the only section that's left. Tim can tell you we've done some work up there on Carson Street, right across the street from Northwood School. We had a drainage issue. There's 3 or 4 houses there on Carson Street, and we've started the work, completed much of it, but we've still got some work in trying to help the drainage issue. Really, what we're trying to do is clean out what should function as rain gutters on the side of the street next to the curb. There's been so many overlays through the years that it's not working like that. It's actually channeling water into people's yards, so we've got that work underway. There has been discussion in the past, and now it's kind of back on the burner for a dog park. We've got some interested parties that are ready to look at that again, perhaps get the donations necessary to build a dog park. If you've got a location that you think is a good idea, we'd like to talk to you about that. Right now, probably the leading candidate is next to the animal shelter, and there's a little space between the animal shelter and the movie theater that has probably enough room, we think, to get that done. So it just need fencing, et cetera. So let's talk about that. I think John Kramer is going to have a polar plunge next month. If anybody wants to come out to the pond out by the Wellness Center, I think you're welcome to do that. Man, we've got some good interest on a hotel. I think we're very close to executing an agreement for a new hotel. Hopefully that'll happen within the next 30 days.
Where will that be?
I'm not at liberty to
Okay.
do that yet, but I just wanted you to be aware. So when and if you read it in the newspaper, I didn't want you to be caught off guard. As I said, Tractor Supply is underway. The high school engineering, I think we've seen some of the preliminary plans on the new high school, and it looks fantastic. Casey's Quick Stop pulled a building permit today or yesterday. And they've gotten the sign approved last week at the Planning Commission, so it looks like that's going to happen pretty fast. Woodman of the World is going to be having a dinner for the first responders on November 27th at 6:30. They've invited the city council and some of the staff along with the first responders to come. If you can make it, they ask that you bring a present for a kid or some canned food for the needy. You guys saw on the agenda that the employee Christmas party is, I think, November 15th, right? And as always, the city council is more than welcome. We would really appreciate it. It's a great way to show your city employees that they matter to you, and we'd love to have you. So,
December.
what'd I say?
Tomorrow.
December 15th. December 15th. And then Chocolate Festival is when, ladies? December the 9th, the Chocolate Festival. I think we've moved it to a Saturday. And they'll have a lot of vendors at the Wellness Center and also be selling lots of good chocolate. And we're looking forward to that.
Has the parade been moved to that date also?
Negative.
that?
I think the parade has been kept as a night parade for the Thursday night.
Okay.
Am I accurate on that? Anybody know the difference? Okay. I got that one right. And then the reports are that Union Pacific has been in town. They've actually started some of the cleanup along the railway. I don't know if how much of that they're going to do, if they're going to do it from one end of the city limits to the other, but right now they are in town and looks like they're getting some stuff done. I don't know if you've noticed it, but they're here.
I saw them cut some grass, but they need to cut the trees.
They're working their way down from Harvey Road this way from Landers.
Good. And then, let's see, Thursday night is the Hall of Fame banquet. I hope everybody makes it out for the Hall of Fame banquet. We'll be inducting 4 people into the Hall of Fame, and all are deserving good folks that have had a big impact on the city of Seminole. So, what'd I leave out? Anybody?
One of them's Bill Wantman.
Yeah, Bill Wantman. Bill Wantman is one of the 4. So, that's all I have.
All right. Brad?
Nothing.
Nothing? Okay. Council members, Larry?
I just want to remind everyone here in the public that our best investment for the future health and happiness of our fair city is investment in women and girls. If women and girls grow up in happy, healthy homes, they tend to produce happy, healthy children who are happy, healthy adults. And I think evidence has demonstrated, I know it has, that that kind of an investment in a community reduces crime, increases education levels, and accomplishments all across the board.
Did my wife put you up to that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe she should have.
Right.
And also, I'd like to extend thanks again to the volunteers and the people that helped us during the disaster. The one volunteer, I don't know who has volunteered, all of the people. I do know that Dana Miller called me right away and asked if there was ways that she could help, and she and her family fell out and helped. And the Southern Baptist Disaster Relief folks out of Shawnee, I know they were active in Ward 1. I don't know where else in the city they did things, but they cut up trees and got debris out of the way. And if there's a way that we can extend some sort of formal recognition to these folks, would appreciate that.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, Stephanie?
I want to thank people as well, because that happened in my ward, and we were really concerned about Coolidge because kids were starting to school the following Monday, and Coolidge was a wreck. There were trees everywhere blocking vision. It was going to have kids walking in the middle of the street, and we got Coolidge, with the help of Seminole State College tennis and softball teams, tennis and volleyball team. We had about 50 volunteers out there that day, Steve. We got Coolidge cleaned up in about 2.5 to 3 hours.
Right.
The whole street. It was amazing to see the work of our people and to see what Seminole can really do. And if we do some type of recognition, I'd like to see those two groups at Seminole State College recognized as well. Of course, I called my whole family and my father-in-law and everybody else that had trucks to come in, because we had a whole bunch of volunteers and no trucks to move it. So we ended up the Seminole State College went back in and got a trailer of their own and hooked it up to their van, and we ended up moving it pretty quick. And it was really good to see our teamwork on that street. And then it's still happening. We still need help, and Dana has still been getting calls and volunteers and those type of things. And I would, like to thank her as well too. One of the things that that we can all, Dana is a great volunteer if you guys need help with anything. And if she calls and complains, give her a job. So she's really good. She's also helped out with the animal shelter, food collections, and different things like that. She's a great volunteer, and she can gather up people really easy. And she's also been my best friend since we were 14. So, but we run in packs like that. But also, too, I just wanted to thank everybody, and then also invite everybody out to the Grisso Mansion on December the 9th. There's going to be, and you probably all will get an invitation in the mail if you haven't got one by now. There's going to be an event where we have music, and we will have some wine and just some silent auction items, but we're trying to, it'll be for the preservation and maintenance of the Grisso Mansion. It's just basic maintenance, and I don't know if you guys know this, but that mansion costs a lot to just upkeep, and there's always something crazy going on there. If it's not a boiler, it's a drain pipe, because there's drains all over that property, and they're 85 years old, so it does cost a lot to upkeep that. Invite you guys out to that, and just and thank you for.
What time does that start, Stephanie?
It'll be starting, I believe it's at 6 o'clock.
What day?
On December the 9th. It's a Saturday. And there'll be live music, and it'll be a chance to get your wives just dressed up, or lady friends, and get them all out there and show them off. But and they'll be they're having heavy hors d'oeuvres, and just so you'll have food and a little bit of wine and that type of stuff. But that's, like I said, at the Grisso Mansion on the 9th. So it'll be the evening. So you can go out and have chocolate during the day, and then go out to the Grisso Mansion at night and make it a big Christmas thing. So,
Cool.
but other than that, thank you guys.
All right, John?
I have none.
Tim?
Pretty much been said. Mine will be quick and short. All the help that we had on the tornado relief, and I think the baseball team was down on our end of the deal, and
and borrowed some trailers, but it was amazing. I kind of just stayed out of the way for a day or two, then I went through there, and I couldn't believe how quick they got that stuff picked up. But and the city employees too was, you know, the big help in the deal. But they had a lot of volunteers, and like I said, we need to show some kind of appreciation on our end somewhere down the line. So let's keep that in the back of our minds and try to do something.
I just want to add one thing about the city employees and the magnificent job that they do. They do that in part because they have good leadership. And thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I would like to also thank everybody who helped the city get back together after that. I do have one question. There's a building downtown that doesn't have a roof. We used to have yellow tape around it. I think it's over there. Is it Broadway and 4th? After the tornado, a bunch of bricks fell off. Is that building able to stand there? Is that a danger, or does anybody know?
That's my building, and I have had people out working on stabilizing the walls to make sure, but we got up on the wall, and what's there is stable, but there are plans to reinforce it even more before I start pulling the inside out. I'm trying to preserve that building as much as I can, the outside walls, and unfortunately, it got hit.
But I was just concerned because, you know,
But
another
I have-
strong storm or something comes through.
And I have a crew hired to come and
Work on. Okay.
work on
All right. I was just curious.
I would like to add a couple of, I didn't know the baseball team. I saw the girls show up, the softball and the tennis teams. That was fantastic. I'll have to add the baseball guys. I didn't know they showed up.
I didn't know this.
Also, WCA, man, they really helped us. I mean, they really helped us, as well as our county commissioner, is it Tim Porter? Tim?
Yes.
He opened the facility behind the animal shelter and has been taking all of the debris from the trees. Of course, I think that's closed now, but man, that's a big deal because we had no idea what was going to happen, and he really, really stepped up and helped us out on that.
All right. We have executive session. Consideration and possible action to enter into executive session under Oklahoma Statute 25, Article 307B2, discussing negotiations concerning employees and representatives of employee groups, International Association of Firefighters Local 2581. I have a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
second.
Roll call.
Chris Anson,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Larry Church,
Yes.
Tim Poplin.
Yes.
John Crank.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. And I guess we'll take a 5-minute recess.